I think it's a boy, but I'm praying for a girl. If it's a boy, party over.
I'm the daddy. I think it's a boy. I hope for a boy, but I won't be mad if it's a girl.
Baldwin County man, woman, and her unborn child are dead after a suspected murder-suicide. Milledgeville police say Jajuan Taylor and Briuna Hartry were found dead.
There's a moment right before police break down a door when they already know what they're going to find. You can hear it sometimes in body cam footage, before the door even opens. A kind of stillness that has nothing to do with quiet. That's where this story starts. Friday morning, a small house on a residential street. Nothing special about it. Officers knock. Nothing. They knock again. Still nothing. And there's that look they give each other. You've probably seen it in movies. But this isn't a movie. This is a welfare check that's about to become something else entirely. They force the door. And inside, in a bedroom, they find two people. Both gone. One of them was due to give birth in a matter of weeks. I want you to sit with that for a second. Not because I'm trying to be dramatic, but because every detail I'm about to give you only makes sense once you understand what those officers walked into that morning. Have you ever had that feeling where something is off with someone you know and you can't quite name it? Maybe it's a friend who got quiet, a coworker who started canceling plans. You tell yourself you're reading too much into it. That's the feeling this story keeps circling back to, because somebody probably had that feeling here too. The question is whether they acted on it, and what might have changed if they had. If you think more people should know how to spot something like this before it happens, that's kind of the whole reason this channel exists. So if that's you, go ahead and hit subscribe now. What I'm about to walk you through, including a specific safety tip later in this video, is the whole point of making it. Now rewind the clock. Less than 24 hours before officers kicked in that door, she was in a conference room at work, surrounded by balloons and gift bags, laughing along with everyone around her. Nobody in that room had any idea it was the last time most of them would ever see her face. Stick around, because later on, I'm going to give you one specific thing, something simple, that could genuinely make a difference if you're ever standing where the people around her were standing. It's the kind of thing nobody tells you until it's already too late. Welcome to True Crime Footprint, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most terrifying true crime tales. Kindly hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive. Her name was Briuna Hartry, 31 years old, from Milledgeville, Georgia, a small town most people outside the state have never heard of. She worked at a place called the Cook Building, a secure facility for patients who've been through the most severe end of the mental health and criminal justice system. That job tells you something about her without anyone having to say it directly. You don't last in a building like that unless you're steady, calm when things get tense, the kind of coworker people actually trust. She already had a son at home, who wasn't there that night, and honestly, thank God for that much. She was about 5 weeks from meeting her daughter. The day before everything ended, her coworkers threw her a surprise baby shower. Balloons, gift bags, probably a sheet cake somebody picked up on their lunch break. By every account, she was glowing. Nobody in that room knew they were saying goodbye. That's the part of this case that gets me, if I'm honest. Not the violence, we'll get there. It's how ordinary the day before was. A Thursday, a card everyone signed, and less than a day later, 2 people in this story were gone, and one of them never got to take a single breath outside the womb. If you're the kind of person who notices the little things, this might be a good time to subscribe, because what's coming next is exactly the kind of thing that's easy to miss until it's the only thing anyone can talk about. Now let's talk about the man she shared that house with, because every single person who knew him would have told you he was the last guy on earth they'd expect to end up at the center of a story like this one. His name was Jajuan Taylor, 33 years old, grew up playing basketball for a local team, just a kid trying to earn minutes on a roster, went to college, actually did well there, made the dean's list more than once, held a steady job, paid his rent. Neighbors describe him the same way, almost word for word. Polite, quiet, kept to himself. His dogs kept escaping the yard, and that was about the extent of the drama he was known for. Here's the thing about guys like that, and I think it's worth sitting with. The most dangerous kind of control rarely shows up looking like a stranger. It shows up looking like the guy your neighbor waves to. It looks normal, right up until the morning it isn't. Neither of them had much of a presence online. No real social trail to speak of, which means almost everything that happened between them happened completely out of view. No posts, no public fights, nothing for anyone outside that house to catch. Some of you watching are probably telling yourselves you'd never miss something like that with someone you love. Maybe you're right. I'd be careful with that confidence, though, to be honest, because almost nobody who's ever missed a warning sign thought they were the type to miss one. If that made you a little uncomfortable, good. That's kind of the point. And if you're still not planning on subscribing after hearing that, I'd genuinely love to know why in the comments. Tell me what it would actually take for a video like this to matter to you. By Thursday night, the celebration was over. Everyone went home. She didn't show up for her shift the next morning. And for someone as reliable as Briuna, that silence said more than anyone wanted to admit. When her co-workers couldn't reach her Friday morning, they called for a welfare check. Officers arrived at the house around 10:15 a.m. Knocked. Nothing. Forced their way inside. In a bedroom, they found both of them. Investigators pieced the timeline together, using the evidence at the scene. Somewhere between midnight and 8 that morning, Jajuan shot Briuna multiple times. Then he turned the gun on himself. A single shot, close range, one weapon, no forced entry beforehand, nothing missing from the house. Whatever happened in that room, it was just the two of them. The bodies went to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's crime lab for autopsy. Officials would later confirm what everyone already feared. The cause of fetal death was tied directly to the loss of Briuna's life, a daughter who never got the chance to take her first breath. Police closed the case without naming a clear motive. No note, no documented history of violence on paper. Just a quiet man, a quiet street, and a silence that held for hours before anyone realized something was wrong.
Hartry was 8 months pregnant. Family members say Taylor reached out for help again and again, but they say the system failed him. Maggie Fitzgerald shares more.
Never would I thought he would hurt her, because he wasn't like that. He coddled children, he coddled pets, he wasn't hurt, and I'm not trying to make him a saint. I'm just telling you the way he was.
Family members are speaking out after a tragic murder-suicide in Milledgeville Friday. Investigators say 33-year-old Jajuan Taylor shot and killed his girlfriend, 31-year-old Briuna Hartry, then took his own life in this home. Hartry was 8 months pregnant with their baby. Loved ones say Taylor had been battling a severe mental health crisis for weeks, with periods of paranoia. They say Hartry stood by his side as his condition worsened.
I started telling her to see by herself, see about the baby, but she told me, Auntie, I can't. She said, I don't want him to think he's alone.
2 days before the shooting, Taylor posted this prayer on Facebook, writing in part, Lord, please take the pain and anger away that's inside those that are hurting. That same day, family members say he called Milledgeville police on himself. Then on Thursday, they say he drove to an Atlanta hospital, again seeking help. This Facebook Live video appears to show Taylor in a hospital room during what relatives call a full-blown mental health crisis.
He went to the police, he went to the hospital, and they failed him.
The family says they don't understand how he was released from the hospital without family notification. Hours later on Friday, police found Taylor and Hartry dead.
We lost one, we lost her, Bree,
Yes.
and we lost the unborn baby.
We lost Haven, Jabril. I don't want another, what I call a failure of the system, to cause another family to have to go through this. They shouldn't have had to go through this.
So here's that tip I told you to stick around for. And it matters more than almost anything else in this video. Pregnancy is statistically one of the most dangerous periods in an abusive relationship, not the safest one. An unborn child doesn't soften a controlling partner, it can threaten them, because it represents a connection the abuser can't control. If someone you know seems suddenly withdrawn, anxious, or different after announcing a pregnancy, don't assume it's hormones or stress. Ask a direct, private question. Not, are you okay? People say fine on autopilot. Ask, has anyone made you feel afraid lately? And if you ever need to act on it, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Available right now, free, confidential. That one phone call has saved lives. It might save one you know. Cases like this one follow a pattern researchers have documented for years. Abuse rooted in control doesn't usually announce itself with bruises first. It shows up as isolation, as a partner slowly becoming someone's entire world, by design, not by accident. A pregnancy disrupts that control completely. A baby means a permanent outside connection, a custody conversation, a future the abuser doesn't fully own anymore. For some men, that shift doesn't bring out love. It brings out panic. And panic in someone already wired toward control can turn lethal fast. What makes this particular pattern so hard to catch is the mask. Steady job, friendly with neighbors, Dean's List. None of that contradicts what happened. It's actually part of why it's so dangerous. Abusers who function well in public rarely get flagged by the people around them, because the version of them the world sees was never the real problem. That's the answer to the question I opened this video with. Why didn't anyone see it coming? Because the warning signs that mattered weren't loud. They were quiet, private, and locked inside a house nobody had a reason to look twice at. To Briuna's family, to her son, and to everyone who loved her, and the daughter she never got to hold, I'm sorry for your loss. No video can carry the weight of what you're living through. To everyone who made it to the end, thank you for watching, for your attention, and for joining us on this journey of reflection. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.